funny.
Hello there.
Live, I see it live. Yay!
Listen, everyone. Hi,
Good evening.
we're back. We're doing it in a different way, and so there were little technicalities. But guess what? She who must be obeyed has forgotten just one thing. Let's go live.
Guys, listen, I'm
I saw
getting used to
preview and I was like,
new
preview?
system. Yeah, but it's all good. We're here. We're here.
Well
It's all
done.
good. So we will restart again, and welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. This is Huw and Lorraine Bellot with Let's Talk Livestream, and today we have a very special guest, Donna Spence. Congratulations, we finally got you. It's been, you know what, myself and Donna, we wanted to meet up a long time ago. What's that, about a year or two? 2
Yeah,
years?
probably that, and then a few months back as well, and so it just so happened, and now we are here.
It never quite worked, but we're here together.
Very
and
pleased to have you on
we'd
board.
like to welcome you.
Thank you.
Donna, welcome to Black Business Recommendation.
Thank you for having me, because you guys are doing some amazing work. I'm really proud of the work that you do. You get it, because some people don't get it. You get it, so thank you for all that you do in the community. Thank you.
It's your support. It's your support that makes everything work. Because when we have people like you, and the group is medium in its size, but big in the heart. When it comes to collaboration, networking, communicating, right? We have so many people that we are told, oh, I'm collaborating with this person, and we just say, that's it. That's the salary, that's the payment.
Excellent.
So today we're going to ask you about you. So let me start by saying, welcome, Donna.
Thank you.
Please tell us about you.
Indeed.
Woo. Have you got the time? It can go on forever,
I read your bio, so I'm very cautious as to asking that question, right?
Wow.
So maybe I could take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about five, yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, if you start off on the comedy side, I suppose, when I started being a comedian, I think that's where you want to start from.
Well, in all essence, I wrote down 10 things, and comedy was the last.
Oh, excellent. Well, go ahead. You tell me where you want me to start from, and I'll go.
Well, you see, one thing, okay, I wrote down just bullet point words. Pioneer, entertainer, entrepreneur, host, health advocate, coach, TV presenter, plus size model.
I don't know how you fit it all
right?
in.
He's making me sound tired.
Business promoter, and then I got to comedian. I thought, oh yeah, I got to remember that one.
Yeah, and the joke is the comedy is what opened the doors for everything else, literally. Yes. So, I mean, for me, it started off, I didn't know I wanted to be a comedian. I had no idea I wanted to be a comedian. I was a singer first. Okay. I've always grew up singing.
Okay.
And then comedy came up. I was doing Visions Nightclub, which was Ninia Benjamin from Three Non-Club.
Yes, I remember Visions. Yes.
Yeah, you remember Visions? And she was doing a night there, and she said, come and fill in the numbers, because I used to go to Jeff Schuman's shows, the comedy shows, and I used to sing in a group called IC3 with him. Okay. And so him and Ninia always used to say, you're so funny, you're so funny. I'd be like, because to me, Black people were always funny. We always got something to say. So especially if you're around your friends and whatever. So I didn't really consider it as anything. And Ninia said, look, come fill in the numbers, because, I need some people. And I was like, okay. So I just went up on stage and I won the first heat. And I was like, what's so funny? And they were just laughing at me, and I just didn't understand why. Then when it came to the finals, I got through to the finals, and it was me and Jimmy Carr. The famous Jimmy Carr and I passed him. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, wow. But you see, when you're on your game, I give him his dues because he's on his game. Yeah. And he's on that side of the street, so he done what he had to do. Yeah. And then literally after that, I didn't think I was going to do comedy after that, but I got booked, I think 2 weeks after that. I had a show. My very first comedy show was in High Wycombe with Jeff Schumann. I was on stage for 2 minutes. I was meant to be on for 5 minutes. And I died literally after about 2 jokes. I was like, oh, okay, I'm finished. I don't know what to say. And the audience was like, carry on, carry on. I was like,
Oh.
I don't know what to say. And they were laughing at me saying, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So I started talking some rubbish. And then that was it. The doors opened. Then the wonderful Angela Marr took me under her wing after about 7 months. And I was on Choice FM. And then that was it. She just, the doors just open. And there's a saying, don't pray for the opportunity, pray that you're ready for it.
Yes,
right.
yes.
And I had to get ready quick. I had to get ready quick because there wasn't that many females. And so I had to go, oh, okay. And I didn't know what I was doing probably for the first 2 years. I didn't know what I was doing.
So you winged it. You winged it.
I winged it.
How did you find the environment back then? Obviously, as you just said, you know, being one of the early comedienne, you know, black comedienne. How did you find and navigate the circuit when you started? How did you find it?
I didn't like mainstream. I was on mainstream now, and I won some awards over on mainstream, but I didn't like it. I felt like when I was on mainstream, I felt I had to be coloured. I didn't feel I could be black. I wasn't allowed to be me, unless I was going to be swearing and putting down brothers and be, you know what I mean? Then it was cool. But apart from that, I didn't like it. So I really didn't stay over there. There was a few things I'd done over there. I'd done some stuff for BBC, and when I saw it air, I didn't like the way that they edited it. They edit it like you're a muku, like you're stupid. And there were things, and I just went, and I told BBC straight, unless I'm in the editing room, forget it, I'm not going to be doing anything.
Wow.
That's powerful, actually, because you kind of think what you're seeing is, you know, is the, you know, they're allowing you to be you, to do, to give out, put over and portray your authentic self. It's not until when you've done what you've done and they go and they chop up everything and then you see what's been, you know, what
you don't recognize the character that's been actually portrayed.
Yeah.
So, and that's what they do. That's what they do all the time. And I'm just not. I just didn't like it. It's really funny because, you know, Angela Marr was managing me. And so she said, if you're going to go on this side of the street, she advised me and she guided me so well. And I was like, I don't like it. And I was like, if that's what you got to do, then for me, it wasn't going to be, because I can't be fake for too long. Not for a piece of paper, not for money, because the door doesn't open that high for us here. It just doesn't. And you can see that by Gina Yashere leaving, Idris leaving.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? You know, Angie's been around for years, Luella Gideon. It doesn't open that far for you. They keep you right here. And how dare you go too far? So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as you're saying there, I mean, there was an opportunity that Idris was doing his song, and a YouTuber in America, he just thought Idris was American.
Yes,
and he was so shocked that Idris was British, and you know, that made it for me that, you know, you have to go abroad for you to make that transition to the, you know, the highest of what you can. Now, do you find that this, you know, we are talking about black business, and do you find, because as a comedian, a lot of people just say, oh, it's a comedian, and then that's it. That's the word, comedian. But it's a business that you have to be good at, because to have longevity as a comedian, you have to have the knowledge of how to run your business. And do you find that that is still the case, that, you know, what you are doing, people still don't recognize that it's a business that you're running, you know?
Yeah, you have to tell them. There's this thing that if they see you on TV, if your name's out a lot, then they see you as a business. But if not, and you're just going around, you're not really a business, because you're touchable, you're approachable. We can see you. So they don't see you as a business, but it's for you to do that and not to be scared to ask for money. When I first came out, I was kind of, oh no, it's my people then, when I'm scared, but I see my people going by red bottom shoes. So I'm like, okay, well, guess what? This is how much it is, and it's that simple.
I want to pay
it. Yeah, exactly. But did you find it easy? Obviously, when you started and the doors did start opening for you, as you said, thankfully you had the wonderful Angela Marr to guide you. When you finally started to see the doors opening, was there a slight temptation to say, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to bite my lip and take these offerings? Or did you find it easy to say, do you know what? I've seen it and that's me. I'm out. I'm going to leave that
aspect of
success behind.
Yeah, you know what? It was difficult. It was different for me because I was nervous. You know, as much as people saw me as loudmouth or whatever, when you get the door opening, you get nervous. You know, with those TV shows, because you get nervous, you're like, oh, am I funny? Because I had this thing that when I was on mainstream, I felt uncomfortable because you weren't allowed to be as black as you are now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Okay. In my eyes, you know, you know, so I didn't feel comfortable. And plus I was looking after my parents. So there's only so much I could do and go to my job because, you know, coming from West Indian parents, you can't, you're going to make this your living. Are you mad? You better go find a job. You can't swear for this.
Exactly. You better get qualified.
Yeah. You understand? And my dad, God rest his soul, was like, he didn't take it seriously until somebody said to him, "Watch your daughter on TV the other night." And he was like, "My daughter?" And, you know, he started getting boasty. You're born to do this now. Yeah, you know, and
that's it, yeah. As you said, isn't it? It's not until, you know what I mean? People don't take you seriously until you're no longer accessible. And you're on the TV, you know what I mean? You're doing concerts, and it's like, oh, you know, shit, that's the person. I knew that person. Do you know what I mean?
The time I knew that I was getting somewhere was when Gordon Ramsay first came out with, I think, like Hell's Kitchen. It was like a pilot. So I was spoken to about it, like, you know, we'd love you to do it. And I was like, no, Gordon can't come to my house and swear like that. You're mad. Because my dad would kick off. And Gordon's like, no, but you'd be hilarious. And I was like, no, that can't. And there's some things I had to say no to.
Right.
I kind of look back now going, maybe that was the upbringing as well. Like there's certain things I can't do and won't do. So, and you didn't miss it. And I liked the Starlight, but I still wasn't like in love with it.
Yeah. It still didn't sit with you.
Yeah, because it's nerve-wracking when you get on stage. It's really nerve-wracking when you, like, I literally have panic attacks, you know. So when they call your name, you know, there was things I had to put in place, because when I first started comedy, I'd walk really fast on the stage. And so my voice would be really fast. Good night, and I'd be off.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, slow down. This is what you have to do. But the more nervous I got it, I just couldn't. And I didn't even... Because when you write your comedy, you try to write and try allow yourself to make the audience laugh. But because you write comedy by yourself and you might be pacing up and down in your house, you forget to give them the chance to laugh. So you're on stage. This is early stages. And you're like, oh, they're laughing. Oh, I've got to stop. So all of these things.
Yeah. The timing and everything.
Right. So then we had to do tricks like wear really high heels that would slow me down on stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the minute they called my name, because Hackney Empire is one of my favorite places to perform. I love theatre. So the minute they say, and we've got a comedian coming on, and my foot would go into my shoes, and I'd be like, and I say my name, and I'd walk out slowly. Now I had the audience in my hand. Now I can control everything.
Yeah.
So it was, and I loved my audience. I loved my people. I did not mind other races being in our shows, but I didn't feel comfortable on that mainstream part. It just didn't feel comfortable for me personally. And so I then decided, well, you know, I'm going to carve it out over here for us. I'm going to do this. So what can I do? Because I also didn't like how some shows were done here, because being a female, you know, there was this thing like, we have a black girl coming on, we have a little girl coming on, she's going to do 5 minutes. I was like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you how this is done. So then I started to put my own events.
So that's the transition then. So that's when the transition to really start looking at the businesses and that side of things started to come about.
So for me, I would ask you then, at what point did you start to gain an interest in the black businesses, in terms of you going out there to communicate with black businesses? Because we started almost at the same point. Yeah.
Right. So I was checking it. I started 2016 is when I kind of started. Was the very first video that I'd done, and it wasn't that I was interested. You know, it's really weird. It found me. I didn't find it. It found me. What it was that I remember it was 2016, and it was the first start of Black Friday. I think that's the time when it first came here.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a big issue about this Black Friday. Like, do you know what you're doing? And I'm watching people killing themselves in the shop. I'm watching black folks acting stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'm gonna say that, and they're losing their minds. I thought, don't you get it? Like the name Black Friday. Why Black Friday? And of course, I used to work for the Home Office back in the day, and there was Black Monday. There was everything was about a black, and it was always negative. And I was like, nah. And so I had an issue about it. And so I said, right, you know what? And at that time, there was the thing about Shaq and I done this video, and we said, let's talk about this Black Friday and what people are doing. And he then read out about the Jewish man that said about us how we spend our money, and how, you know, how the money goes around the Jewish community 18 times. And so we said, all right, you know what? I really got to talk to our people because I can't handle it. But if we're gonna do black, let's shop black all day then. Yeah. Then came the problem, because when you're gonna, once we planned that, in my mind, I was like, how many shops are really black? How many shops are going to be open? And can we last all day? Can we get everything all day? And do we have to plan it? So Shaq and I looked at the dynamics of it, and we was like, we're going to have to plan it. That day you only buy black. That means you're going to have to buy things from before, because you're not going to be able to get everything.
Yeah, to map it out.
Do you know what I mean? So the very first place I went to was, I used to work in Borough, and there was a guy called Patrick Soul Food, and he was the only black guy in the market doing West Indian food, Caribbean food. And so I'd go to him at lunchtime, and so I'd done my very first video about, this is my first stop, this, you know, this come down, and his queues were around the corner, especially, he was always busy, but once I'd done a video, people was like, oh, and I realized people just didn't know. It's not that our people didn't want to support, they just didn't know. Just didn't know. And I was like, you know what, we've been lied to a long time. And so when somebody saw that video, and I think I'd done another video, they kept saying, oh, please, can you come do mine? And my heart couldn't stop. My heart was like, oh, they need help. How can I not? And, you know, because you've got a platform, you know, yes, I'm a comedian, but if it wasn't for the people, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
So your job is to give back, or how I saw it is that you give back. So that's what I did. And I said, okay, let me go around. But some of our businesses weren't ready. They just weren't ready.
When you say ready, in what sense do you mean not ready?
You're not opening up. You don't deliver what you say you're going to do. If you're going to say you're going to open up at 7, be open at 7. Don't let me turn up at 8 o'clock and go, boy, I'm Mr. Boss, you know. Don't do that. You know, there was that. Then you have the attitude, the old attitude. And then when I would turn up, say, can I come and film you? Like, I'd give them a week's notice. Hey, can I come and film you? You get, yeah. And then you come and they go, oh, I'm not ready for you. And you're like, if I was BBC though, or Channel 4 with my camera, and I was quiet, you'd be ready. So why are you not ready? Why are you? Am I not light enough for you? What's the problem? Don't you get it? Like, come on. And that would get me. And then after filming a series of business, and people got to know that's what I do, I then decided that, you know, there was a few businesses I filmed, because, you know, if we're going to be truthful, be truthful. There was a few businesses I filmed, and then I recognized that they weren't black owned. Behind the scenes was somebody else. And I was like, okay, the money's not coming back round to my community, it's going to go back over there. So I'm not doing that. So I just,
that's one of the things that recently we have teamed up with certified black businesses to actually create that situation that we can look at and authenticate businesses, certified businesses, so that we as a consumers can turn around, look at their product or the service and know that there's a kite mark, and we can recognize that this is a black owned business. So that is one of the key things that we are now developing, and something that could have been developed a long time ago. Because how many times are we actually going into shops? And as you rightly say, we don't know. It says everything about the Caribbean, all its looks and everything. But then when you go in there, the money that is the profit doesn't go to the community. So it's that we're actually looking at, is how do we promote ourselves through certification, so that everybody can see that there is a kite mark, there is the license to say this business has been certified as authentic and has been registered at company house, so these people know what they're doing and go through all the compliances. Yeah. So
unapologetically, we have to be.
Exactly.
And that's something that is key, that we have to actually not be ashamed or afraid to say we are black businesses. This is a black-owned business. Because once we recognize that, we can start identifying each other and start collaborating and networking, and telling our community this is what it is.
Absolutely. We have to, because how I see it is that, you know, like we said, the Asians, that they support each other, Chinese support each other, you know, and Jewish support each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. Do what you need to do. We need to support each other and not be ashamed of it. Everybody likes our food. You know, I remember Cilla Black, God rest her soul, saying, "Oh, I went to Carnival and I had jerky chicken." From the day she said that, everything went up. And I'm like, we have to recognize our worth and do this properly, because there's nothing wrong with us supporting each other. A Chinese restaurant opens up, you have many Chinese in there, and everyone goes, "Oh, it's full," then they start going there. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, and we shouldn't be ashamed of that. I mean, I've turned around and I've had somebody that I filmed, and they say, "Oh, how comes you haven't keep pushing my one?" And I told him straight, "But your wife is European, so the money's not coming back to us. You fooled me, so it's not happening." It's on my YouTube, don't get me wrong, but I won't actively push it out.
And I think that's where we're kind of, I suppose, as black businesses, taking back you know, the reign,
sovereignty of what we own,
of what we own, you know,
because until we do that,
you've got everybody that's jerk chicken shop, you know, solicitors, whatever, you know, clothes shop. But you know, if there is something in place that says, no, hang on, this is how you're going to identify who is who, there's going to be that's the no-brainer for me.
Because as long as we have something like the fair trade kite mark on the products, which is what people understand. Exactly. The fair trade kite mark, everybody understands what that means. So why not we have the certified black business, so everybody understands what that is instantly. So recognize that people actually, these businesses actually belong to black people, and they're certified because they've been checked through Company House. And those sort of things are so much that we need in our community. And someone like you, who actually goes out there and speaks to our community in terms of their business, that is so important. And I really want to commend you for that, because when I first started on this group, it was almost on the same argument. Was I'm going to a shop, I'm tired of our cousins putting the money on the counter, looking me dead in the eye and say, "I'm not giving it in your hand." You know, at that point, that's when I said, I'm tired of talking about it. What am I going to do? So I contacted 25 businesses and said, okay, what am I going to do? Black business, I need to recommend. Okay, black business recommendation. And that's where the group started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but for you, I'm going to come back, Donna, to what you said, because I think that was quite powerful, which is when you turned up to businesses, you know, and you gave them prior warning that you're going to come. What's interesting to me is when you said, well, they wouldn't be ready for you when you went back. But if it was the BBC or ITV, you know, they would be on point with that.
Absolutely.
So, isn't that a thing, do you think, that our minds, you know what I mean, how it's wired and what we see as important? You know what I mean? So how do we get over that?
That's the coloured mind. That's what I call coloured mind. And they don't understand business. You know, it's a try thing. It's just a try thing. You know, because, you know, I film businesses internationally. So I film businesses in America. And as much as they might have it hard, I see that they deliver. Do you know what I mean? When I see the man in the market with his, you know, shea butter and his bits, and he knows his product and he's selling it, it's amazing, because he's doing it. And I've done from Boston to New York to you name it, and they're ready. I'm talking about the dollar drivers. They're ready. Because you remember, you don't want to be on benefits over there, so you're not relying on nothing. So you're like, hey, I got to get this dollar. I got to get this.
Always remember that dollar drive from up the road to the bottom of the road. That's it. No left or right. Straight on. You know? And that was unique.
But exactly, right? And I think it's still going today. But then it goes to show you, is there a problem, do you think, then, that dare I say it, we've got it too easy here, where we are comfortable in the fact that we've got
back up with the social security and everything else.
With social, social security, with food money. Whereas in America, they've got to pay for the healthcare. If they're out of a job, they're out of a job. They've got to pay for everything. So do you think the mindset there is kind of different, and that's what is driving them more so?
Well, America has always classed themselves first as we're the greatest country in the world. England, it's always seen as a dump. I mean, remember before it was Great Britain. I don't know when the last time they said Great Britain. Do you know what I mean? So England's always been, and once, I mean, I lived between here and America for years. And so I'd always have to go back to America to get, because this comes from me being in America. I couldn't be here and do this. It would get on my nerves. So I'd have to go to America, get my juice on, and then come back. And I'd be like, yay, vibed up. And then, if after 3 or 4 months, I'm kind of going down a bit, I'd have to go back again, because I'd be like fired up. Come, let's go. Because I'm a girl who wakes up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Let's go. Let's make that paper. Yeah. And then other people, you'd be calling them at 9 o'clock, be like, oh, I'm tired, or I'm not sorted. And you're like, what? And so it's a different system. There tells you go, go, go. If you sit here and watch television or television, as I say, lie to your vision, you will get wrapped up in that and you won't move. You have to know yourself. What is your time that you work best at? Are you good at 4 o'clock in the morning, or are you good at 10 o'clock? Do you need a coffee? What is it you need? And give it to yourself. You have to know, unless it's a business call, I'm not answering that phone, because next thing you'll be on the phone chatting rubbish for how long? Somebody will take up your time. So, somebody called me the other day, and they said to me, they called and I returned their call and I said, hey, they said, oh, you know what? I was feeling down and I thought I'd give you a call. Because you always make me happy. You always make me happy. I went, okay, well, I'm not too happy right now, so I can't speak to you. And they could not fathom the fact that
argument.
I wasn't happy at that moment.
That was your job, to make them happy.
Right. And I was like, I was off. And people will bring their stuff onto you. They expect that from you, or they want a boost from you, or whatever it is. So you're being drained. So here we're kind of lazy. We can be laid back. Unless we go, and this is the thing, we'll go to work for somebody else, get there for 9 o'clock, give them what we have to give them. We might play around a bit, and then 5 o'clock in the evening, we're out the door. Do you know what I mean? Because we're thinking about our money, but we don't think about, if you really break down that money and what you get an hour, if you was to put into your own business that time, you'd probably double that, treble that. Because when you love what you love and you do what you do, you can sell it. It can happen. Do you have a product to sell?
So
indeed. in terms of that, now I'm asking you the business question. How do you see yourself as a business, an entrepreneur? Because you have many things happening, and we would like to find out how it is that you kind of make the balance of the different aspects of your entrepreneurial skills and your business acumen. How do you make that transition from one to the other? Because
it's really weird, because I never saw myself as an entrepreneur. I mean, that's obviously my business manager who writes that up, and I'm like, entrepreneur? I just see that I'm a doer. That's the thing. So
that's what entrepreneurs are. They are doers.
It's just weird hearing it. That's all. It's just weird hearing it. For me, once you eat well, you have the energy. When I wasn't so much into health, or when I was transitioning, you didn't have the energy. But when you start eating well and you have the energy, you can do most things. You can fit a lot of things on a day.
Okay.
So,
but your day starts long, not compared to others. Your day starts at 5 a.m. So you got 4 hours on many people. I'm learning to do that. I'm waking up at 6. I'll get there one day, very soon. Yeah, I'm waking up at 6 to do.
But would you say that's something that we've really got to perhaps maybe think about, which is a lot of businesses, whether they are mums and pops or solicitors, bankers, you name it, okay, working for themselves, we are still in the infancy.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, absolutely, we don't get it. Yeah, we are. We don't get that you need to be. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You need to be. I've got to be ready before my clients. My first call, because obviously when I'm doing health, is 5 a.m. in the morning. So whether that's LA or here, because I have people who don't want their children or family to know yet what's going on with their life, or that's the time they can fit it in before the children wake up, or whatever the case may be. So I have to, that means I can't wake up at 5. That means I've got to wake up at 3.
Wow. Yes.
Do you know what I mean? That means I've got to wake up at 3, and then I've got to go, okay. And if I haven't done the work the night before, because I like preparation, I like to be prepared. So there's some clients that they're so not well. I might have to do 3 days work on them. 3 days work on finding out the information I need to really get what I need for them. Because you got to remember, it's worldwide for me. It's global. So if I've got somebody in LA, I need to find them a naturopath in LA. I need to find them the right naturopath, and I need to contact that naturopath to find out if they can give my client what they need. So and then after I might do that client. Now my consultations are 45 minutes. It never is 45 minutes though. It's always an hour and a half, 2 hours when I speak.
Yeah. Because there's so much that is required. Yeah,
well, I've got to step back. You know what it is that it's new to our people. What I'm doing is new. So, you know, they always went under the NHS or whatever, and this was seen as a really rich people's world to be, you know, if you want to know about your health. And something that this business I created, it wasn't there. It's never been there for our people that way.
Yeah.
So I created that. So when you create something, you have to give a lot for them to understand and for them to get all that. Because remember, because I'm doing health, they've gone to the doctor. The doctor only gives them 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You need to vomit. You need to speak. You've had these ailments for years. I can't cut you off after 45 minutes. If you need to talk, I've got to let you get everything you need out and get your money's worth, so that you know that when you go off and you can say, no, Donna Spence, she allowed me, she let me talk, and it was worth the money, or whatever the case may be.
So so that brings us on to so that's the health, the advocacy part, really, that you are really very much interested in and have been dealing with for quite some time, and obviously in the time that we are in, and supposedly now coming out of.
Are you looking to franchise it, by the way?
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it. But because I would need to find other people who can do what I can do. And that's my problem. You know, I wanted to take to do with the health events, I could, that's definitely, because already what was meant to happen from last year was it was meant to be at Olympia, because Olympia wanted it.
Okay.
Because I started off doing health events at Olympia, meaning working for them. And then I was like, you know what? And there wasn't that many Black people. And I was like, you know what? And then once I started doing the live bloods at Olympia, working with Virginia Dunton, who is my health a naturopath, I then brought in other Black people. And other Black stalls were coming up. And you got to remember, when you're doing Olympia, they might charge you £5,000 for a stall, but you'll make that money back in the first day. You might be there for 4 days for that, but you'll make that money back the first day. So what was meant to happen, it was meant to, the health event was meant to go to Olympia. So it was open to all people, but I wanted our people on the stalls. That was for us. Our businesses were meant to be there. But I was just doing it small at first to let our people know, to see where our people could be. And again, some people are not ready. There's some people that I just couldn't do it again with.
Wow. Again, is it because it's due to financial constraints, or just the overall professionalism of not realizing that if you say you're going to partake in something, you've done your research on it,
you commit yourself
and you've committed to it? Is that what you mean?
So what happened on our side, it was, the money side was no problem. They never gave me no problems because I didn't charge that much money for them to have a store. And also, I think they all knew if Donna Spence's name's on it, she's done the work for it, we're going to make our money. And they did, especially the first one they did. What I had a problem with is that people saying, and I was too kind as well, I had to learn. People said they were coming, as in store holders, and didn't make it. And had they told me before they weren't going to make it, I could have got somebody else in. So then there wouldn't have been no judgment if they wanted to come back another time, because you just couldn't make it. Things where they just didn't listen. You have to bring your own table. You have to, I thought there was, no, but I told you, and it was in the email.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh boy, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll go and get a table, but never come back. So, and me being, you know, my business manager was upset because I should have really taken their money beforehand, but I wasn't. I was like, I want to make their money so they can pay me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you kind of leave yourself open. But because I had a job as well, I was like, I can afford to do that because I want to make sure my people are okay. Sometimes you care about people too much more than yourself, and that's an issue.
I was about to ask you that question. Is one of the problems, I will just make this statement, is that we have too much brother sister payment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're in business and someone comes in and first thing they do is, well, you know, that price is too high. You know, can't you do something for me, brother? Yeah. But they'll never do that in Tesco's or Sainsbury's or anywhere else. Yeah. So there's no brother fee.
Exactly. But you know, once I understand that, I'm going to come in on a different angle, right? Which is, you know, if you go back to the old systems, okay, of how things were, people used to barter. Okay, you're gonna do something for me. Well, this is what can you do for me? You know what I mean? It might not be money, it could be something else. It could be, well, all right then, if I'm going to do this contract, draw up this contract for you, and you've only got half the money, but you're willing to, if your business is that you do car washes, I don't know, you're a car mechanic and you're kind of, that's great. That's how it used to be. And I kind of think that we are still kind of in that mode, which is, you know, well, if
but they're taking, but they're not giving back,
or the store, then you know what, maybe you can help me out. If you help me out with that, then perhaps I might be able to do something else for you. You know,
that would be beautiful. And to be honest, I noticed that more when during this pandemic. That's when I noticed it more, that people were doing it. But that's not happening, Lorraine. If it was happening, it'd be amazing. I can tell you an incident where there was a business owner that I filmed, and they done amazing. When I first started filming businesses, there was no Instagram, there was no WhatsApp to that. It was just straight Facebook, right? Yeah. And they would get like 86. I think WhatsApp was out, but it was like limited.
I didn't know how
to cut the video. Yeah, you couldn't cut the video to do it to that much, right? So it was like on Facebook in the first sort of 24 or 48 hours, she had like 46k hits, and then by the end of it, she had 86k, and you know, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe the people." And I went into the shop and I said, "Oh, how much is this?" I think it was like, say, bread. I said, "How much is this hard-dough bread?" or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Oh, that's, I don't know, £2 or £3." And I went, "Okay," and I bought it, and I was like, "Wow, you've just bragged to me about how much money you've made." You made more money in the last week than you have done in 6 months. Yeah. And I asked you how much is hard-dough bread, and you're telling me the price of it. And I bought it, and I never shared that video again.
Yeah.
Now, not because I was bad mind, not that I needed, but had she done that, you don't know if I had money in my pocket.
Yeah.
She could have fed me.
Yeah. And not only that, I think sometimes people kind of forget, once things start going in the right direction, and the likes are happening, right, or the customers are coming in, it's kind of like, okay, they've forgotten exactly where they need to be. But I don't want to come too hard on that, because as I said, it's the mindset thing, isn't it, really?
But we have to come hard on it, because we're getting away with it too much. It's time to get pulled up. They can't keep doing it.
I hear you.
That's what stopped me from filming. That is, so what I did was I allowed people to go back and film now. So what was happening is people they're filming businesses, and that's what I love. People was going out and they was filming wherever they are. But the thing is, they had to be in the video. And I'm like, you don't have to be in the video. It's not about you. It's about the business. Tell the people about the business.
Yeah.
So it stopped me when I saw behaviors. I saw that more than once, that behavior. I went, I'm not doing this, because you don't, if you give a little, you will get a lot. Because I know for a fact, if a same white person went in there, a European person went in there and bought some, and they done the filming, don't worry, have it. Do you know what I mean? Because this is what you do.
Yeah, the mentality.
That is a mentality, and I think the mentality of many of the businesses is that they do try to act professionally as best as they can. However, there's also the bit about keeping what is mine and not necessarily sharing with you. But what they don't recognize is that in sharing whatever they do, lowering the price or giving something that is not necessarily they have to do, but if they do that to someone who's actually actively coming to their shop to buy, that person's going to go and represent them.
Exactly.
But we never see that, because that's the part of the training that we need to start looking at within ourselves, to say we can help each other by just helping each other.
Right.
We don't do that.
But I also think as well, I also think there's this myth about having money as well. So, you know, we make comments, don't we, as people, hey, you lucky you got money. You see it, you look all right. I see you with you look. I'm like, so what's the problem if I have got money? What's the problem? If you are a millionaire, I know many millionaires and billionaires. I know many black ones as well. They may not want people to know, but we know many of them, right? And they always get that, oh, you got money, you're all right. Why is that a problem? We've been brainwashed. Like we're not supposed to like money. Even, you know, if you go to the biblically, it doesn't say you should have money. There are how many rich people, rich prophets in the Bible, but we go, no, you're not supposed to. I'm supposed to act like it's rubbish.
Yeah.
So
you're meant to be.
You know
successful.
what? I'm gonna ask that question,
You're meant to
which
be.
goes straight into this one. Is to then why is it that you actually do go out there to record the businesses? What made you feel that that's where you can go? What you can do with that?
I feel like I still want to teach my people. You know, there was when I first started, like I said, it wasn't about money at all. It was really, you know, it got my back up about the Black Friday, and then it just got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And then I actually got a domain name and done a thing called Black Friday cards, because of what I was going to do was a subscription, and I was going to do all that. And then I recognized that there wasn't enough businesses to do that at that time, meaning that you would do that and then those businesses would close, grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah.
Because everyone might have a business. You don't always have to have a shop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You may not be ready to have a shop. Have you really looked at your business plan? Because our businesses sometimes looks good. You might be making a money, but if you really start cutting out the light bill and the receipt for this, and you really look at your business how you're supposed to, can you really afford that shop? So you go into the shop thinking that you can afford it, and actually you can't. So you've got to close. When if you had done it a stall or done it online or done a pop-up shop, like this is one of the greatest times now to do business, because there's loads of places that are empty, and you can do pop-up shops to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So that would, you know, that is a highly recommended area for people to start looking at, and to look at a pop-up shop where you can actually bring people in to do their business as well, which is a great way to motivate the community and to actually identify who and what are actually happening to work together. And I think that when you first started, I looked at what you were doing, and it just motivated me, because you were always there. You were always talking to people. I never saw you in the foreground. Even I think when you spoke to the Black Messiah about that the medication, I'm still looking to buy that.
Body Messiah, when you're ready.
You know, definitely, because that's an area in which I want to look at my own health and so on. And the important thing is how you actually communicated to the general public, right, about the benefits of what this man was doing. And that resonated with me. And every time you actually go out there and you communicate with people, you actually talk up to the person, right? And there's always some good information and knowledge that you share. How is it that you just automatically just do that? Because that is a learning curve for many people.
I don't know. It's not set. It's a gift. It's a God's gift. I mean, yes, you can be a comedian, but I like talk, and that's what made me stop being a stand-up and start doing hosting, because I like hearing people's story. I think that there's so much inside of us that are not spoken about, but yet we're more alike than unalike. The difference between me and another black person that's in Enfield, the only difference is that I might be on stage and I might have a social media, but they might be so great at writing, but nobody knows. So if I like the underdog, so my thing is, let's go and speak to you. let's hear what you got to say and let's build it up. And I always say to people, be ready for the opportunity, because if I put you out on social media, you might get people want to contact you. Are you ready for that? You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good because I actually see, when I watch what you do, it actually inspires me to go and do the same, to go out there and talk to people.
Lovely. Right? I love that.
When it gets safe.
Yeah,
when
it gets safe. But what we did was we actually said, okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to go virtual and talk to businesses that way. Good. So we'll be continuing that because we just looked for the best way to communicate to people. So that's one of the areas. But may I just go back to the TV presentation, the coaching? We haven't even touched that.
I know.
And also the beautiful plus size model, which I don't know what they're talking about plus size modeling. As far as I'm concerned,
I lost the weight now.
Beautiful all the way through. So size is not an issue, but it seems like they just need a label to actually put where to go. What do you think on that? Is the plus size model? How do you get into that?
So what happened was I hosted the very first, let me get this right, the very first London Fashion Week plus size modeling in, I think it was 6-7 years ago, in Shoreditch. And so I've always wanted to do modeling. It was something I always wanted to do. So before that, though, there was a company called Full Figure Fashion Week, which was in New York. So I would go to New York to watch it. And then one year I walked it. But there was no real film footage then. So I walked down this, and I got my dream, and I walked it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so for me, from there was some pictures floating around, bits and pieces, but nothing drastic. Then I was a bra model.
Okay.
So I got into bra modeling because obviously what happens with bra modeling, no matter what size you are, from A to Z, it doesn't matter. They want somebody who can fit the bra, and how does it feel? How does it look? Right. So I started doing the bra modeling, and then I think I got booked to go to Boston it's like they booked you for a weekend, took you to Boston. How does it fit? Get paid, and that was it. Does it fit you? And then I think they were going to do a shoot on Daily Mail on me, and I was like, hold on, in my bra. I was like, no, I can't. No, I can't do that. No.
Stop that.
My parents were still alive then. I couldn't do it. I was like, no, I can't do that. So that was a part of the modeling. And then I started to do, Evolve is a black magazine here. Evolve is so Rianne Ward, and I hosted her modeling events, and she knows I still want to do modeling. So one of my things is to still carry on the modeling. So I intend to do that. So she said, when I'm ready, so I'm getting myself fit and ready to walk that catwalk when I get a chance again.
Oh, okay. Now, here's a question with you now. With all the experiences that you've had, are you actually how are you going to, I don't know, your legacy? How are you going to manifest that within all that what you do? Do you have family that you're going to bring in? Do you have young people who are apprentices? Is that a direction for you? Because I would hate to see that skill set and that passion that you have go to waste. So
really funny, because I've just started up like a separate company at the moment, and I'm calling, because it's Black Lives Matter time, I'm calling it, it's called Black, Bold and Beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
And that's where the young people will come in. That's where I want, I think everything is about young people. There's a lot about young people, but my thing is, do young people really want to do it? Because I think we do this whole thing on young people. I'm like, yeah, but are they so spoiled that they don't want to do it? Like, if you haven't got that drive, I'm not begging it out of you. So if you're 40 and you want to do it, let's go. But be about your business.
Well, you see, one of the things is that we have young people who are doing it by themselves. But what we don't have is the elders who are willing to listen to the young people to do it the way that they do. Yeah. Because if, for instance, if I am now picking up on what my son is doing and our family doing, the youngers, and the way they see things is totally different from us. And they are so much into the digital that things can happen very quickly for them. Yeah. So it's for us to learn from them to do the things that we're trying to do and improve upon that. So it's not really that the young people are not interested. It's about us finding the young people who are interested and working with them.
Well, I'm very lucky then. I'm very lucky in that way, because I have some young people around me who who teach me. Literally, they teach me, especially that whole social media stuff, because what I think us elders are lacking on is the social media.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? We lack on that. So it's about going, look, I need you to do the to actually do the editing, and you to do this, and let's put it out. That side is, because 80% of my business is social media. If I didn't have
working
that,
to the strength, isn't it? It's working to the strengths. And if you are blessed, and you know what I mean, and you have children, as Huw said, you have to listen to them, and business is changing, the way we know how businesses should be
evolving,
right? And the young people are saying, yeah, you may have done it like that last year, but this is how it's rolling this
right
year.
now,
And you can't say they're wrong, because it's just about having that balance of showing them what you know, and you listening and following them to let them lead you to tell you this is where it's at right now, and meshing the two. And I think once we do that, you can,
I think meshing the two is correct, because there is still a good thing about old school business that stays in place, and it's about meshing the two. I think if you use young people for the social side, they will listen to you on that other side and understand, because what it is in my eyes is about making money while you sleep. That needs to happen. You need to make money while you sleep, and you need to, you need to know that you've got your health in order to do those things as well. So I think that young people definitely got something great, but sometimes they're about the now. Do you know what I mean? We're so digital that, you see, that's a whole different story again. When we talk about old school business, they have money, they still had cash. Now everything is going to be, it's connect, it's all of that, which is going to be a problem in the long run, because if we look at people like, let's look at the royals, do you think that they, do you really think they go into shop and use a card? They don't. It's old school money that's floating around. You know what I mean? The banks still need your money. There's paper. So we still got to look at that and go, look, okay, it's great that you're using, contactless or whatever you're using, but we still have to look at things and go, we have to set this here. We need some old school money coming in. So I think, like you said, it's about merging the two together.
I also think that if we are in business, I think as the elders, we need to educate the young people how to do it in a paper form, because really and truly, everyone is so digitally connected that if their digital services are cut, then the question is, where am I? You have to learn the old school style to keep it.
Exactly.
So things go wrong, electricity goes off or whatever, you still have a system by which you can actually check what you're doing and where your business lies, your plans and so on. So when you think of your business, and you say that you don't see yourself as an entrepreneur, there you go, doing that again and starting another business, right? That is the entrepreneurial spirit.
I suppose it is.
In terms of the legacy, how are you going to push that forward with the young people, or generally, how are you going to maintain that?
You know what? I haven't worked that out yet, but it's coming. I haven't worked, but I do have I've got some really great. I don't have any children, but I have some great nieces and nephews and other family who are really great, like from investment banking to modern, and they're all around me. Do you know what I mean? What my dream would be is that we all, as a team, work together. That would be my dream, to pass that on in property and everything, because we have to learn those skills as well of property. It's not just about owning the property; it's about willing it. Do you know what I mean? It's about gifting it.
The first port of call is to get them all together around the table and talk and discuss.
Which we do.
Action. Because you see, one of the things is that we have young people, they have ideas, but as parents, as people generally, we stick to what we know. But if we sat around the table and conversed about where we want to go and what directions we want to take, surely we'll come up with plans that are beneficial to our community. And that that is the key element, is that we need to now start talking with our young people, because the information that they have and the information we have, if we put it together, this is where we can improve our economy. So it's really an important factor that once we start talking, we can raise our aspirations, both our young people and the elders, to ensure that we start doing things on a business platform that we can actually gain. Yeah.
But you know,
you're right. Sorry.
No. Yeah. No. Go ahead, darling.
Go ahead.
I think you're right about that. I think that's great when I can say, because I don't have any children, right?
That's all right.
So that trust is a bit difficult for me. Like if you've got your children, you raise your children, you know you can trust, you know everybody, you know your children. So if the trust is a bit different for me, I'm like, if I hand this over to you, and it's a bit like our parents' generation who tell me, if I put the house in your name, you might kick me out of my own house. I trust you, but I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's that thing, and it's something I have to get over.
But you see, this is where the one thing in terms of business that is not really spoken about, contracts.
Yes.
Yeah. If you start the premise of a business with your family, we have every member in our family, so we know the makeup of the family. So what we do is everybody's equal because there's a contract that says what your job entails and what you bring into the business. And if we don't do that, then we're going to have difficulties because, you know, the handshake doesn't work when there's money involved, right? Because we all witnessed what happens when, unfortunately, you know, we are at the bereavement stage, and we can see what happens when, you know, something hasn't been signed up. Yeah. So taking that a step back and saying we are going to start business, we have to start, you know, being litigious in terms of what we do. We need to have a contract. We need to have a lawyer. We need to have an accountant. We need to have a will. All those things to ensure what we have, we keep. I'm using the word legacy, but in business, what we have to do is make sure that our young people learn the business so they can take over.
Yes.
And I think, well, that is true. And I think, you know what, we need, these are baby steps. And I think it's, as Donna is doing and so many others, we are sort of making everyone aware as to what is needed to reach to a standard, for us to galvanize, for us to realize we do all have to, whether we like it or not, have to come under, in some form or fashion, one certification. One umbrella. Because you know why? We will not get the fruits that we are looking for if we do not. You know, so the main things, and I'm sure you have touched on them when you've gone out to all the businesses, when you're doing your coaching and so on, Donna, is trust, is ego, right?
Yeah.
Is knowing your business, right? Okay.
Know your business. Know your customer, know your business. You've got to, because you don't know who's coming through the door. You don't know what's going to happen. It's how you can, and we've got to stop being like, sometimes like I'll go to a market, for example, and especially like Brixton Market is one of my favorite markets, meaning on a Sunday, the farmers market, and you will find black stallholders, and they're amazing, you know, because I filmed most of them down there as well. We've got to be like the old school white ones. Hey, two onions. We've got to start, hey, how you doing? We can't be scared to talk. Because otherwise you don't know that person didn't know they wanted your sauce until you tell them about it.
Exactly.
Sorry.
That is so amazing, because it is such a simple thing, but we are, to a certain degree, we are very insular when it comes to our business. You know, when we talk about business, one thing I've realized is that a lot of people, they will go to a shop and it's a black-owned shop, and they will say, yeah, I'm keeping that one a secret to myself.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't fathom that, because that person's going to go to the same business and see next year or 2 years time the business closed. They're going to ask why that business closed. It was so good.
That's what I'm saying. You know what got me out of that, how I got really kind of loud when it came to business? I used to hand that when I used to put on my comedy shows, because when you start putting on your own shows, that's when, because you remember you got to make this money now to pay the comics.
That's
so
right.
You're like, and what I was not going to do, which I hated, promoters used to put on an event, and they'd be at the end of it, you turn up at the show and they go, boy, you know what, we may not have all your money, you know. You're like, sorry, why? Boy, because we didn't sell enough tickets. That's nothing to do with me. You didn't do your job.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't do your job. You spoke, listen, save your money up, yeah, and have my money ready. I was known for that. I'd blast you on stage, yeah. Don't play with me my money, because that's not my business.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
So when I'd have my job, I know, I'm going to do a show in February, because I used to do the late night comedy shows. I'm sure you probably read it.
Yeah.
At Stramodium. So I would have my money ready. I'd be like, okay, tickets sell or not sell. If it's one person, it don't matter. You came out, I've got to pay you.
That's right.
So you got to hand out flyers on street, and I would literally have a flying team. Yeah. Now, what I noticed was there was people handing you flyers at a rave, and those flyers would be on the floor because people are bored. I said, okay, so how do I get the people I want in it? Okay. So I came up with a plan with another guy that used to hand out flyers, and we used to go to the tube station early in the morning when people were going to work, because you that goes to work all the time don't know what's going on because you're too busy going to work. So 7:30 in the morning till 10, I'll be handing out flyers, or 9 before I get to work. And then in the evening, 4:30 till 7, handing out flyers. So the majority of my audience came from the working class at that point. So then the ravers now who wanted to come couldn't get tickets. So that's how I brought other people in.
Yeah.
When you're handing out flyers, it's the most embarrassing time, because you are handing out flyers to people. Number one, you're trying to avoid the Europeans because you don't want them to have it. Because it was but I used to tell them straight, you're not coming. You're not. You're just gonna. You look at it from. You see all black on it. You're gonna throw it on the floor. So don't bother taking a flyer. Don't waste my time. Yeah.
You can pass it on.
So,
you can pass it on.
Right. So when you see your people now, you gotta go. Hi, can I offer you a flyer? Nah. Yeah. Nah. But after a while, because people would see you at the place quite often, what would happen is now the audience that would have come to the show, they would help you. They'd be like, let me take those flyers from you. And it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
But when you get rejection and rejection and rejection, and you still got to go, hi, can I offer you a flyer? Hi. And I would train, my girls up. I'd be like, smile, look good, put on a skirt, show some legs, show some cleavage, whatever you got to do, look good. Yeah. Because, not to show off to get people to, but look good. Hi, can I offer you a flyer for a comedy show? Hi, because remember, at that time, you would be at a train station, and you may not be allowed inside, but afterwards they got to know you. They're like, yeah, come inside.
Yeah.
But then the people would. And then you did have those white people that wanted to come because they saw that you were so pleasant. Yeah. And then they realized when they came to a show, I remember when I got the most white audience was I had Mark Trinidad over from Trinidad. He comes from Canada, but from Trinidad, who's white Trinidadian. I had Tony Paleface, what was Tony's other name? But Tony Paleface, who's a white Jamaican, right, at that time. Yeah. And somebody else. And of course, Stratmogen, white people came because they thought they were white.
Yeah, of course.
And when they open up their mouth, it was just hilarious, because you really don't want to say that this stigma, but it is.
Yes.
There is that stigma.
There is. Yeah.
There really is that stigma that we have. So hand out those flyers makes you push even more. So that made me look at businesses again and go, don't be scared to turn around and go, hi, ever thought about having some black seed oil? Like, hi, have you ever, they may not know. What does black seed oil do? Oh, well, this is what it does. Don't wait for them to come and smile. Tell them.
So it's know your product and sell your product. You sell your product, give that person information. Even if they don't want it, you say, you know what? You may need to know about this, because you know what? You might need to pass it on. Yeah, because a lot of people, in the school where I work, I've got a young lady who her parents, her mother is white, and as a black young woman, and the hair is not up to date.
Right. Yeah.
And I have been just making sure that I get the oils and the stuff,
lovely,
and pass on to the mother. And
lovely.
I hadn't even told Lorraine that I was going to volunteer her to comb her hair. Yeah.
Lorraine then sings my song. I said,
I'll break their heart.
I'll break their heart. We volunteered,
But you know what? That's my soul, and that's why I do what I do with Black Business Recommendations.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, but that's not my business to go and plait up her hair. That's your business. You go and plait up her hair. Come to tell me if I go plait up.
You know, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm good with the 3 plaits and the 4. I'm good with that.
Oh, not the 3 plaits.
You're like me with a doo-doo plait underneath my wing.
Exactly, right? Okay. But you know what? But you see, this is why, Donna, right? You're doing what you're doing, okay? Because you see how things transition, right? From us speaking this evening now, and hopefully everybody, you know what I mean, is understanding where you're coming from. Because as you said earlier, when you got up there on that stage and things started to become successful for you and doors were opening and, you know, you could have gone that route and you could have been doing whatever, okay? What you saw was not for you. Yeah. But guess what? Look at where you are now and what you're doing, all right? Because what you're doing it in a different way. And you're inspiring your people,
thank you.
And you are coaching them and you are nurturing them, you know what I mean, to be the best that they can be. So do you see,
I love that.
It pivoted itself, so it's not gone to waste.
No,
right?
no. I didn't recognize at the time what God was doing. Yeah. But that's exactly and another point I want to make, that when people, because there's a lot of us that have pop-up shops now, we're starting to be at markets and all things, like promote that you're going to be at the market so people come. Because I think sometimes what happens is our people go, it's not my job to promote it. Why should I tell, you know, then everybody's going to come down there and they may not come to me. No, you promote it, you get known, you will start to have people coming, you know, and also when you're doing it for the market, you've got to remember the councils will get to know, oh, this person, because they see your social media, include them into your social media. You know, when I was doing Brixton Market, there was a point when Brixton Market, meaning the farmers market, they were looking to close it down. They tried to close it down. By the time I went on social media and done 2 videos, and you're talking about, I filmed some of the white people down there going, why should we close it down? That stayed open.
Yeah.
Because they see that you are part of that. And I included Lambething and things went through. And I'm like, it's very important. You must be, don't be scared to promote where you're going to be. Let people know you're going to be. Don't just,
yeah,
because people will message me and they say, Dee, can you put that on your platform? And I'm like, okay, but why? And if I say to them, okay, this is how much it is, they'll be like, what, are you going to charge me? Yeah. Why are you coming to me? Why you come to, well, you know, you got a big audience, or you can put bums on seats. You got to pay for that. I worked hard for it. Do what I do so you don't have to pay me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, as much as we say, and I'm sure, you know,
crabs in a barrel mentality.
There's going to be a lot of people that will listen to or are listening that will think, oh, here we go again, the same old conversation, you know, putting down our businesses, you know what I mean, that we're not doing right. No, it's not that at all, actually. It is just about thinking about our mindset. You understand?
Changing,
and trying to change
mindset.
little bit by little bit as to what we need to do. So if you know, say you got business tomorrow, all right, and this is not even just for, you know, our retail type shops. We're talking about your solicitors, your everything, you know, everybody, right? There's a certain way of thinking with each, okay, that needs to change. And if you are in a position with your business where you are quite successful and are doing very well, it wouldn't do too badly then to think of, how can I pay that forward? You know what I mean? And it could be, well, you know what, I can then invest a little change, or, you know, product or stock product, or offer my services, you know what I mean, to try and help, you know what I mean, somebody else. So, and not have that, well, looking down and saying, well,
I'm safe, I'm all right,
I'm doing okay. You know what I mean? You just need to change how no, help. Because by helping, all of us are going to raise, right? Yeah, we can't have this mentality of, well, I've made it. I'm doing okay.
And the thing is, you haven't made it. You see, this is the other thing. A lot of people think people have made it. You might have credit card, you ain't got cash. You got credit, but you ain't got cash. You ain't made it. It's very to make it here. You got to work it. Yeah, it's not as easy as people think. Just because you might see somebody can have a raise up in their car, you know, you see somebody have a car and you think, oh, their car's all right. It's not that. They might have to have that car for their job to take them. There's no point in them having a banger. They need a decent car to take them to where they need to take them to do the things they need to do. So you don't know what you got to lose out.
What the balance is,
what the balance is.
Yeah, and you know, in terms of when you look at people in business, it's not that they are rich because they're in business. They're in business because they're trying to make themselves a better life.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And that's it. Because don't forget, you know, half the time you got to have the heating on in the house in this country. Your bills in the household is enough.
The bills alone will kill you, won't it? You know? But
you know what I mean?
My darling, I'm going to end off with, because we could sit here all evening with you.
I know, right?
Wonderful. But where do you see yourself now? I mean, as I said, it was more to do with your wonderful business acumen and how you are inspiring people with your coaching and so on, and what you do, going out there and promoting our businesses all over the world. But what are the next steps for Donna?
So the next steps for Donna at the moment is the health is a Happy Health Emporium is really my business now in getting our people well. That is my major thing, getting our people well. Yes,
how can we help you? How can we help you with that?
How you can help me with that is, how can you help? I need to probably speak to you about that because I don't know how, because really it's about more promoting it in the sense that
we'll promote it.
I just need to do more videos. So this is what I'm saying. There's not enough hours in the day. When I put those videos out, that's where I need the help from, because I need our people. That's why I was doing Instagram Live and stuff. I wanted our people to recognize these are our illnesses. We need to boost this immune system. You get this immune system well, you get your gut well, you pretty much are away from any of the illnesses. And it is a big area. And we've got to understand that just because you pay your taxes thinking you're covered by medical, and if you're not, this is nothing. This is completely separate. You have to understand about health. You have to understand what supplements we need to get you well and understand what it is. I need to get our people well, because everybody wants our melanin. Everybody wants something from us. We have to keep well. This myth about, oh, you know, when you get to 60, 70, oh, your back hurt, your leg, it's a lie. It does not have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. You can be 70 and well. I want people to start going back to the old school way, which is we didn't eat as much meat then. We've become this thing, but I'm not saying you should stop eating meat, do whatever you want to do, but I want people to start recognizing, what are you buying? What are you eating? So that's, for me, that's where it is. So there's that, and obviously there's the other side. Me, I'm not a comedian, but I still host events. Right. So, you know, I'm managed by that. I now have a manager, 100% management, who manage me, who are great for that. So they take all the calls and all the dealings with that. I don't have to worry about that no more. But that side, those are things I really want people to know, that when I come to host your event, know that I'm hosting it because I want better for you. I can do something that you can't. Let me do that for you. Do you know what I mean? Let me do that for you. Let me do what I do best, and support me to help you to do your health. Because I could pick up and I could go off to America and make money in health. I've been studying health for 18 years, but that's not the point. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. So the website is being made. It is just me one. You know, I've got me and my business manager who do things, but it's just us. And I do need to create this team. And again, as I say, money, the only reason why I haven't reached out to everybody is because you've got to have that money to pay them. And I refuse to let somebody work for me for free, because that's not fair. But if we can give something back, you were saying, Lorraine,
you can scratch my back and I'll help you.
Exactly. Come let me scratch your back and I'll help you. And that's really what it is. So I need somebody who knows about social media. I need somebody who's going to put those videos out for me quick and put the little bits, because these youngsters today know how to put all those things together.
Gosh, they're so quick, aren't they? Yeah,
they're just so quick.
But that's what we've got to tap into, all that talent that is there and everything, you know. Yes. But you know, we appreciate you, Donna. And it has been an absolute pleasure. Okay, I'm just gonna, put your bits and pieces. I mean, if anybody wanted to contact you, you know, I have been putting your details up.
Thank you. My Instagram, my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Okay. And you.
But how will people get in touch with you? So that would be the best way how would people get in touch with you? We can put that
I'm on I'm on all social media. So you've got Happy Health Emporium if they want bookings, which is on Instagram. Or where am I? Happy Health Emp at gmail.com.
Sorry,
say that again.
Happy Health.
Happy Health Emp. So Happy Health and Emp is EMP. That's one word.
EMP, yeah.
Yeah. At gmail.
Yeah.
.com.
Okay.
I don't know if you want a phone number, but
yeah, go for it.
Right.
So 07990.
Yeah.
268.
Yeah.
316.
That's wonderful. That's
great. For Happy Health. So anything to do with health, that's there.
It's not for booking for comedy. It's for health.
That's what. For comedy bookings, you'd have to go to 100% Management. It's called. I think it's 100% Management at Gmail.
Is it the letter or the word?
Well, I think it's the letter. Let me check. See, even I need to check now. Oh dear, let me just check. Sorry, gallery.
100%.
Management at gmail.com.
Management.
I think it'll be the letters.
Usually here. Where are you? Look. See, this is what I'm not supposed to be. I should have been ready for you. My apologies.
Don't worry about that.
No, you are fine.
We are live and we're doing it as we can.
No, but everybody, what Donna is doing there is doing exactly what I think a lot of us are doing, and coming in from all angles in getting us more aware of where we should be and how we should be conducting ourselves in business and as consumers, where we can find each other and shop more. And that's the best thing that we can do. There's going to come a point where everything's just going to meet in the middle, and all of those connections will be made. All right. But so we just need to keep doing what we do and just be mindful of how we do it, and just keep helping. Be kind. I bet
you're past it. I bet you're past it. But it's 100%. I know it's a number. It's a letter. 100%. Oh my gosh! I can't believe I'm doing this.
Right. 100% Management
when you
at gmail.com.
When I get it, I'll send it to you. I will definitely send it to you because I have it all the time. And then one time now, look, I see it up to today. I'm so used to just handing it out. My apologies.
Don't worry.
But I will definitely.
But it's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
In your endeavours going forward, and with lockdown coming to, well, not even coming to an end, but everything going to be open up now. We hope that you're able to do all the things that you've got planned for yourself.
Can I just say something about that so people know, because they need to know this. With this whole lockdown coming to an end and whatever, you must make sure your immune system is up, because for those who never got the jab, we're going to be around the people who are not vaccinated. So our immune system will go down. So we need to make sure, get that vitamin C, not from that high street shop, that buy one, get one free chemical that's going to make you ill. Not that. You need to get some proper camu, bao vitamin C, Aceola cherry. Take it 3 times a day if it's capsules, because vitamin C only lasts in your body for 6 hours.
Okay, wow.
That's all it lasts and it goes, yeah? And vitamin D and K2. The K2 takes out the calcium from your arteries and puts it into your bones. So those two are very important. Yes, your sea moss, your bloody whack, but your vitamin C, make sure your body is up. Anything else, I mean, people can book in with me and I will happily guide them, or they can watch even some of my Instagram posts. Definitely do that. Have your live blood test. You need to know that you need to have your live blood test, because you need to know what's going on with your body. You don't know when you go to the doctors. They send off your blood. You don't know it's your blood. You have no idea. You hope it's your blood. So those things, if that's the last note that I can leave, please, people, because when you get out there, so start building up. Every 30 days you get brand new cells. So start building up your immune system. It is imperative you build it up.
Fantastic.
Wow, thank you very much.
See, everybody, we keep saying to have your notepad and pens.
We're going to come back to you on that for another interview, and we'll speak about strictly the health aspect, because that's very important. So, we'll fix out a date and we will get that to everyone pretty soon. So we're gonna look for our schedule and we're gonna get together on that.
I would love to, because I really want our people to get that. I want us well, and I just want us well. We can do amazing things when we're well. We've got so much to live for, and people do not have to be ill. Do you know what I mean? You must go old school. Just die in your sleep. That's it. Just die in your sleep. Old school. Just die in your sleep. Or have some fun. Go out partying and come back home and you just died after going party. That's what we want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Thank you so much, and keep on doing what you're doing. You appreciate me, but I appreciate you guys. I really do.
Thank you so much, my darling. Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? Let's do it.
Yeah, you look after yourself, my darling, and we will speak soon.
We will speak soon. Okay.
Bye bye.